Since being elected in 2003 as our Attorney General, Jim has advocated for crime victims and worked to safeguard Mississippi's most vulnerable citizens, our children and our elderly. As Attorney General, he's launched initiatives to prevent workplace and school violence, stalking, domestic assault, and identity theft. He also founded one of the nation's leading cybercrime units. I was talking to Jim the other day, and I was interested to know that he chairs the National Organization of Attorney Generals on Intellectual Property Theft. As a prosecutor and former district attorney, he's tried more than 100 cases, including the prosecution and conviction of Edgar Ray Killen for the 1964 murders of 3 civil rights workers. Jim's a 5th-generation Mississippian. He and his wife, Debbie, have 3 children, Rebecca, Matthew, and Annabelle Lee. Please help me welcome to Hobnob Attorney General Jim Hood.
Great to be here with you. Good morning. Jack, thanks for that kind introduction. I tell you, the MEC is obviously a very powerful organization. Every year, you order up this great weather. So you came into town and it's cooled off. It's a magical time of year. You know, last night I watched the kickoff of the World Series and saw them sing the national anthem, and you know, it makes the hair still stand up on your arm. And just for a little while, you get away from elections and worrying about anything else, but watching one of America's best games. And this time of year, it's always fun to come out and visit with you here. I want to applaud the MEC in a position that it has been very strong in taking, and Jack's father, Jack Sr., Reed Sr., and Jack Jr., and Blake Wilson, and many of you have been strong advocates for fully funding 4K, early childhood education. You know, if I were running for governor, that would be the premier issue that I would run on, because you understand that that issue is the most important economic development issue that we face. Because by the time you're 5 years old, 85% of your brain has already developed. So if we reach kids at 4 years old, it makes a tremendous impact on our future and our economic development tool. But I'm not. I'm running for Attorney General. And I want to tell you why I'm doing that. You know, I'm not, what you hear a lot of the time in the media that the Attorney General does is you hear the dirty word sue. And you know, that's not one of the main duties that I deal with. I hadn't had an opportunity to visit around here, but Hassel Franklin from my hometown of Houston is a MEC member, and I bet you that even Mr. Franklin would approve of me suing the SEC if they take Mississippi State's cowbells away. That's a Nazi organization I've been wanting to sue for a long time anyway, so it may create that opportunity. I want to tell you a little bit about what I really enjoy doing as Attorney General. And it has a lot to do with technology. You see, the internet has brought us, you know, so many good things, and then it's brought us so much bad. The internet is the wild, wild west. It has not changed. And the policemen of the wild, wild west are the attorneys general throughout the nation. But it's kind of fallen to us to try to step in the void and make people do the right thing. One of the areas that is of interest to you at the MEC is dealing with the internet and intellectual property theft. You know, a lot of the stuff is being stolen. Take music, for example. Intellectual property theft is stolen, downloaded every day. The music business has gone from an $18 billion a year business to a $9 billion a year business. It's cut in half, primarily because of illegal downloads. We have a lot to do to educate children and grown-ups about that issue. But intellectual property theft is an issue that will make many of your eyes glass over. But it's vitally important because, you see, one of the few things that we still manufacture and export is our intellectual property. And if we do not preserve that, then, you know, we may go the way of Rome. I don't believe we will. America has always stayed at the forefront because of our innovation. If you take Eli Whitney and the Cotton Gin, Bell, Ford, all of the Microsoft, different companies that have been innovative have kept America at the forefront. And even in these tough economic times that we see, I believe in the future we will still achieve that, but we've got to preserve our intellectual property. You know, Mississippi's the only state in the union that received a federal grant to have an intellectual property theft task force, and we're doing some innovative things that we're going to put together a manual and give to other AG's offices as to how to develop these intellectual property theft units. We're working with our universities to prevent the illegal downloads. We're working with local law enforcement. You see, it's not all just Microsoft-type software products or movies or music. It's hard goods that you manufacture and things that are sold a lot of the time over eBay. So the internet has created a problem there, and we attorneys general are trying to fix it. Let me tell you about another issue that is near and dear to my heart, and that is cyberbullying. Cyberbullying, you know, when I first heard about this issue a year or two ago, you know, I'm thinking there's always been bullies. Well, there has always been bullies. But let me tell you something why it's different, and that is because of the internet and communications. On the school grounds, some people wouldn't have said things to a kid that they will now through electronic means because of the anonymity, because of the distance that it creates. And it is creating a major havoc with our children. I hope 10 years down the road, we don't look back and wonder what the heck were we thinking when we allowed our children to have this full unlimited access to text messaging and the internet and social networking, the trauma that is causing particularly our young teenage girls. You know, most of these issues that I'm talking about today are near and dear to my heart. I mean, I live them. They're in my home. I have a daughter that's 15, a teenager, you know, that's going through these things, and a son who's 12, and a baby girl who's 7. So a lot of these things that I'm trying to attack are just that they come from the heart, and cyberbullying is one of them. We have kicked off an effort, the Fear Stops Here campaign, and what we're trying to do is use 7th graders to educate other kids that it's not cool to cyberbully. You know, it's just proliferated because of the internet, because of text messaging, that kids are really picking on each other. They're lying. It's causing these suicides. And I know we've had them happen before. We haven't actually tied them necessarily to bullying in Mississippi, but I don't want any more suicides because of cyberbullying on my watch. I want to make sure that our schools, thank you. I want to make sure that our schools are doing all they can, and they're struggling. I mean, you know, our teachers are having to wipe our kids' nose and rear our children and all the things that the social problems bring to schools, and now we're loading something else on them. But it is a vital issue that I think we can get ahead of and make a difference. Another area where we've actually made a difference is all the child pornography. You know, you see about every week we've arrested somebody for possession of child pornography. And the good news is those numbers are going down now. At one point, I didn't think we were going to be able to make the corner on it. In January of 2009, we had 2,000 people who had downloaded illegal child pornography in the previous 30 days. 2,000 people in the state of Mississippi in 2009. The highest downloader at that time was downloading 300 images in the previous 30 days. Now, what's happening by all these arrests, and I think we're about 100 just this year alone in child porn arrest, is what's happening is now the top downloader, instead of being 300 in the previous 30 days, is now at about 50 or 60. So we're seeing a decrease in the number of the child porn. Those guys that are downloading child porn, we're not talking about a 15-year-old girl. We're talking about prepubescent images that are sickening. I mean, these people are warped. You have to manage them for the rest of their lives, and we've been sending them to the pen left and right. They've been doing 5-year minimum mandatory sentences, some up to 20 and 40 years. So we're trying to make a corner there. We have made a corner on the issue of to catch a predator, you know, that you see on TV. We have investigators doing that. You know, we've caught them in different places where our people would portray themselves, these are our investigators, as if they were a 13-year-old little girl. We don't get as many hits online as we used to. The guys, they're afraid to come meet us. So that is an area in which we believe we've been effective in deterring those who are trying to prey on our children. Some of the areas where the Attorney Generals have worked effectively with businesses has been in the area of like Craigslist and Backpage.com. We AG's got Craigslist to take down its erotic services section on its electronic newspaper. It's a classified ad in which, can you believe in this day and time, in the year 2010, can you believe that what was happening was an online company was allowing prostitution. Right here in Jackson, Mississippi, you could go look up and find prostitution. Young girls were trying there, testing the water. Some were being forced into to pornography and being a prostitute as well. So we've been effective in working with Craigslist. We just got them to take that down recently. And another area that we're just now seeing out there is we work closely with Budweiser, Anheuser-Busch, and Miller and getting them to take off the market a alcoholic beer. And when I first heard about it, I thought, well, that's not a problem. I mean, we've had bourbon and Coke for a long time, things that had caffeine in it. But what we're seeing, and we just saw in Washington State recently with some students who were just crashed out over it. If you think about it, the caffeinated drinks, the alcohol, when we were in college, if we would have been able to stay up all night and keep drinking, the mischief that we would have gotten into. That's an area where we AGs are engaging and trying to stop. Miller and Budweiser did the right thing. They took it off the market. It was called Sparks. The Sparks is a Miller brand, still on there now, but it doesn't have the caffeine. So we're working with them to take those out of there. But I'm going to continue to fight for the working people of the state of Mississippi to make sure that Mississippi continues to prosper and that we have a better future for our children, because I think that's what God taught us to do, is make a better place on earth for our children. God bless you, and God bless the state of Mississippi. Thank you.